Ladies, grab your cup of tea, because what just happened to Sarah Ferguson will leave you speechless. After decades of rebuilding her name and charming her way back into the public's heart, ITV has just slammed the door on her, completely. And the reason? A shocking connection she thought was long buried has resurfaced, and it's tearing her world apart. But here's the real question. Did Sarah deserve this fate, or is she paying the price for a mistake the royals would rather forget? Let's unfold the truth behind this royal meltdown, piece by piece. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, once called the rebel royal with a golden heart, is facing yet another storm. Just when people started to believe she had finally found her peace, ITV reportedly axed her from This Morning and Loose Women, two shows that had become her second home. Yes, you heard that right. The same woman who brightened British daytime TV with her warmth and wit has now been completely cut off. No guest appearances. No hosting spots. Nothing in the pipeline. ITV made it clear, Sarah is out for good. And why? Because her name has become tangled once again in one of the darkest scandals the royal family has ever faced, Jeffrey Epstein. Now, ladies, we all remember how that name shook the entire world. And for Sarah, the resurfacing of old emails linking her to Epstein has reopened wounds she thought had healed years ago. According to leaked reports, she once wrote to him, calling him a steadfast, generous friend, even after his conviction. Can you imagine the outrage that caused? Viewers who once adored her felt betrayed. How could a woman who publicly condemned Epstein privately thank him at the same time? Was she desperate? Or just careless? What do you think? Can someone truly change if they keep repeating the same mistakes? For years, Sarah fought tooth and nail to rebuild her reputation after the 1990 scandals. Remember those headlines? The toe-sucking photos, the massive debts, the whispers about her being too wild for royal life. She turned it all around. She wrote children's books, became an advocate for mental health and kindness, and even reconnected with her ex-husband, Prince Andrew, in what many called an unexpected royal friendship. It was almost like a redemption story, wasn't it? But now, all of that goodwill has vanished overnight. ITV, the very platform that gave her a second chance, has walked away. And the public? Divided. Some say this is the price of poor judgment. Others believe she's being scapegoated to protect the monarchy's image once again. What's your take, ladies? Should she be punished for something she did years ago, or has she suffered enough? Let's talk about the email that changed everything. In 2011, Sarah allegedly wrote to Jeffrey Epstein, years after his first conviction, apologizing for publicly distancing herself from him. She thanked him for being generous to her and her family. But here's what makes it worse. Just weeks earlier, she had gone on television saying her connection with Epstein was a gigantic error of judgment. So, while the cameras rolled, she was condemning him. Yet behind the scenes, she was saying sorry to him. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Was it guilt? Manipulation? Or survival? Remember, this was around the same time Epstein reportedly helped her pay off a debt of £15,000. Money that, according to reports, she desperately needed to avoid another financial disaster. Now, we all know what it's like when life corners you and the bills pile up. But taking help from a man like Epstein, after everything the world knew about him, that's a line you can't uncross. This revelation was the final straw for ITV. Insiders say the network wants nothing to do with Ferguson now. Her image, once charming and relatable, is now considered too toxic for the brand. One ITV insider reportedly said there's nothing planned for her now or in the future. She's done with the channel. That's a harsh blow for a woman who once stood in front of millions of viewers, smiling, laughing, and proving that even the royals could be down to earth. It's heartbreaking, really, after years of reinvention, to lose it all in a single headline. Even her former colleagues on Loose Women couldn't stay silent. Jane Moore, one of the panelists, said it bluntly, Sarah's behavior isn't a forgivable mistake. It's a sign of greed and self-preservation. Ouch. And the public echoed that sentiment. Social media flooded with comments calling her fake, selfish, and disgraceful. But tell me honestly, ladies, haven't we all said or done something we wish we could erase from the past? Does one mistake define a lifetime? Or is the world simply harsher on women, especially those once tied to royalty? But here's where things take a darker turn, because Sarah's downfall isn't just about her. This scandal has rippled through the entire royal circle, shaking the walls of Windsor once again. So, don't go anywhere, and if you're loving this deep dive into royal reality, make sure you're subscribed to New Things. We've got more royal revelations than Buckingham has secrets, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's not forget, Sarah Ferguson isn't just any celebrity. She's Prince Andrew's ex-wife, the mother of Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. No matter how much time has passed, her name will always be tied to the royal bloodline. And now, with Epstein's name crawling back into headlines, Sarah's past is shining a fresh spotlight on Andrew, the very man the monarchy has tried desperately to distance itself from. Insiders say King Charles is deeply concerned about the optics. After years of working to slim down the monarchy, to rebuild trust and modernize its image, this scandal has landed like a thunderbolt. One royal insider reportedly said, "Charles wants the monarchy to represent stability and integrity. Every time Sarah or Andrew makes news for the wrong reasons, it undoes years of effort." And honestly, who can blame him? But here's the real dilemma. How far will the king go to protect the royal brand? Should Charles cut ties completely, or would that seem heartless, especially when Sarah's daughters are still active members of royal life? What do you think, ladies? Should family loyalty come before royal duty? Or is it time for King Charles to draw the line once and for all? Meanwhile, Prince Andrew's own troubles are far from over. Reports suggest he's under renewed pressure to vacate Royal Lodge, the home he's shared with Sarah for years. Yes, even after their divorce, Sarah and Andrew have continued to live together under the same roof. Some called it odd. Others said it was sweet, proof that their bond never truly broke. But now, that arrangement is reportedly under review. Royal aides are said to be quietly questioning whether Andrew should be allowed to remain there, especially with public outrage growing again. One insider put it bluntly, Sarah and Andrew are now symbols of everything the monarchy wants to move past. That's harsh, but also revealing. After all, these two have weathered scandal after scandal together, from financial crises to media mockery. But this time, the shadow cast by Epstein might be too dark to escape. Do you believe in redemption, ladies? Or are there some mistakes that can never be forgiven, especially when you wear a royal crown? Across the UK, the media frenzy hasn't slowed down. Commentators on TV and in print are calling this the final collapse of the Duchess's credibility. Jane Moore's words on Loose Women still echo, calling Sarah's behavior shameless groveling and a betrayal of Epstein's victims. Those are heavy accusations, and for many viewers, they hit home. For years, people admired Sarah for being real. She wasn't polished like Diana or composed like Kate, she was the relatable royal. She made mistakes, laughed at herself, and reminded women everywhere that imperfection could still be beautiful. And that's what makes this fall from grace so painful to watch. Can you imagine? Spending decades rebuilding your name, only for one resurfaced email to erase it all in days? It makes you wonder, are women in the public eye ever truly forgiven, or are they always one headline away from being destroyed again? Now, let's not forget about her daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. Both have worked hard to carve out quiet, respectable lives away from royal drama. But this scandal drags them right back into the storm. Sources close to the sisters say they're devastated and heartbroken for their mother. They've always defended her, even during her darkest days. But behind closed doors, royal observers say the girls know that their mother's name now carries too much baggage. Invitations may slow down. Opportunities may quietly disappear. And that's the tragic ripple effect, one scandal staining generations. As a mother, can you imagine that pain? Watching your mistakes weigh down your children's future? So, what now for Sarah Ferguson? For the first time in years, the Duchess is silent. No statements, no interviews, no social media defense. Those close to her say she's terrified, not just of losing her career, but of losing her voice. It's said that she feels betrayed by ITV, claiming they turned their backs on her after years of loyalty. But from ITV's perspective, keeping her would have been like playing with fire. The public reaction was too strong, too unforgiving. And here's where it gets truly sad, no other broadcaster has stepped forward to defend her either. She's been, quite literally, exiled from the screen. Is this fair? Should a woman be completely erased because of one terrible lapse in judgment, especially when powerful men often walk away untouched? Or is this finally accountability catching up, no matter the title or gender? Ladies, the truth is, Sarah Ferguson's story is more than a royal scandal. It's a mirror of how society judges women. When they fall, it's brutal, and when they try to rise again, it's often too late. Whether you believe she's guilty of hypocrisy or simply human under pressure, one thing is clear, the crown may glitter, but the price of wearing it is unforgiving. So, what's next for the Duchess? Will she fight back, write her side of the story, or quietly disappear into royal history? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Sarah deserves a second chance, or is this truly the end of her public life? And if you love getting the real royal tea, not the sugar-coated palace version, make sure you're subscribed to New Things, where we talk about what really goes on behind the royal smiles. Because in the world of crowns and scandals, there's always more than meets the eye. Crown.